What's up guys, Cut Protagonist here, and today we'll be doing a deck profile on the Hero World mobile area team from the brand new set Superhero Worlds from the latest booster, the Ultimate Booster 01. So mobile area team is one of those that has gotten a lot of hype from the booster set because of its wonderful artwork and its ability to perform really well in high level events. So today I will be making a video to explain how the mobile area team perform so that you will be better prepared for the WGP if you want to qualify for Worlds. So chances are you'll be seeing a lot of mobile area team in the competitive scene until the next major booster. So for now, be prepared and be well equipped with knowledge. So, mobile area team is a very unique archetype which utilizes the weaponry link, which means they are able to gain powers based on what equipment they are equipped with. So for example, if your unit is equipped with a sword, they'll gain plus 3k attack power and 1 additional crit. Whereas if they're equipped with a shield, they'll gain 3k defense and all your opponent monsters loses 1 critical, which are very powerful effects. So as a mobile area team player, you want to fully utilize these weapons and use the purge ability to switch them around depending on whether it's your turn or your opponent's turn. Purge is an ability which allows you to send one card from your soul of a monster face down onto your gauge. Purge not only frees up one weapon slot, it also provides you gauge which you need to pay for some plays in the late game. So it all comes down to your player judgment and ability not to misplay. So this is not really a beginner deck and I only recommend this deck to intermediate to expert levels. But if you're watching my video, you will at least have a rough idea on how the deck works. So even if you're playing against it, you will be able to counter it. So let's get started with the deck profile. So for the buddy, I use Kaname. The reason why I use her is because she is the main size tree you want to go to. She basically fetches out your weapons so that you have a good start depending on what you need. So if you need a sword, definitely get a sword. In my opinion, if you're starting out with her, definitely fill up your swords because swords give you draw power and critical. As a double attacking weapon, you'll be swinging for minimum 4 crits to 5 crits really easily, which means you can dish out high damage. So you want to equip your defensive shield into your units, reducing cutting crits. And most of your units also have high defense. Similar to all mobile area teams, she has weaponry link and purge. The only difference is for the larger units like Fubuki and Kaname, they will have 2 weapon slots, whereas units like Yukari will only have 1 weapon slot. So size 2s and below usually only have 1 weapon slot. You will only be able to equip 1 weapon to her manually. So for example, if this card has no souls, you get weaponry link. So which means if you have 1 soul, you can no longer chuck in any weapons from your hands. Just take note that size 2s and below can only equip 1 weapon, whereas your size 3 boss monsters can equip 2 weapons. So you can still equip a lot more with force-in gem effects. I will explain it later on. Some of the girls do allow you to put in some cards from the drop zone into their soul manually so that you will ignore the weaponry link condition. Weaponry link does not have any effects and they are just there to tell you whether they have a slot or not. Now basically if she does not have any weaponry link, you can no longer manually chuck in a weapon to her. You will have to use some other ways. So I hope it clears up because it is very confusing to most of the newer players. So let's get started with the deck list. 1 copy of Fubuki, Zero Star Gale, Azure Skies, Naizumi Fubuki. I play 1 copy of her. It is because we do play a searcher and sometimes I do not want to search into my buddy monster because she gives an additional option and she has better stats. For example, with the 3k weapon, she actually hits 10k, which is really good against chaos. Once I have my buddy as a ride, I usually search her out. So yeah, she is pay 2 gauge core cost. When the soul is put into this card, you can gain 1 life. So usually you can gain a couple of life just because you chain your weapons. All our weapons do have a counter ability. Shield counter ability can only be used during your opponent's turn, and the sword can only be equipped during your turn. So do take note, both of them have counter abilities. So if your opponent were to destroy you or attack you, you can counter the shields to bolster up your defenses and not take damage. So it's Riku. She has Purge, Move, Double Attack, and Soul Guard. One thing she's lacking compared to Kaname is she does not have the ability to search. Her sets to push is sometimes very important, so I play 1 copy of her because you can always retrieve from the drop zone or always search it out with the size 3 searcher spell. So it's 1 copy. Now 4 copies of the bunny monster Sakanagi Kaname. Pay 2 gauge, similar to the boss. When this card enters the field, alright, put up to 1 weaponry from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck. So yeah, very powerful unit. Basically starts out your game. You have her basically ready to play the game because you'll be able to search out your weapons, your sword, which is most important because you want to bolster up your attack, and sword gives you additional draw when you chuck it into a monster. So it is so very good. Sometimes I do use the core to right combo, which allows you to get more hand size at the cost of more gauge, but it's okay. Purge, Move. Purge basically once per turn, each unit can purge it off from the soul. So once per your turn and your opponent's turn. So take note of that. Do not make the mistake of purging 2 times, otherwise you get disqualified. Move and Double Attack and Soul Guard, very basic powerful units. As a weapon, she won't get destroyed too easy by God Punks because she has Soul Guard. So even opponent pays with Brozalius, you won't lose the whole unit instantly because she has the Soul Guard ability. 626 stats, fantastic stats, especially if you're able to stack out a lot of weapons and shields. Those numbers do really add up into a huge number. So yeah, you can also ride the pay 2 gauge, and 4 copies because she is the main engine of the game. If you have her in your opening hand or have an item searcher, it is very good. You're gonna have a good game because she is so good and she does so much work for you. So it's 4 copies. Next is 4 copies of size 2, Mano Yukari. I like to play her because she is very flexible and she allows you to fetch up one weapon from the deck or drop zone into a soul. When this card enters the field or right, put up to one weaponry item from your deck or drop zone into your soul. Take note that weapons that you put into the soul does not activate, so you will not be able to gain the draw skill because you must be used. So in order to draw, you must use it through its counter ability. So do take note. But nonetheless, once it goes into soul, this is an 8k tanker. 8k is no simple number, and against battle buildings, which usually have 7k or only a couple of 8k units, she can really do a lot of work for tanking for you. So yeah, really good unit. Also, the reason why I really like to play her is because she is an excellent gauge adder. So one thing I like to do if I'm lacking in gauge and let's say, oh no, I want to call her but I need 2 gauge, do not worry because Yukari can fix that for you. What I'll do is I call her to the side as a monster. From this deck, I can fetch out one weapon, put a soul, then I'll purge it off. Right, that's 1 free gauge. Next, I'll use ability from the field. I'll use it to ride, since it's no gauge cost, ride ability. Since she entered as a ride again, from the deck I'll fetch another one, and just like that you get 2 gauge. So she's kind of like a dragonic charge in case you need a gauge. 1 card exchange for 2 gauge is kind of worth it. So sometimes you do want to call as a monster, then ride into an item because you can get a lot of gauge off her. So 4 copies because even if she's not there as a gauge adder, she's also a very good tank, especially if you add shield into her. Very good card. 4 copies. Alright, size 1s we play 4 copies of Kagari. One of the MVP of the deck because she allows you to charge and draw, not once per turn. So she's kind of like a Penta. When this card enters the field, if another mobile area team on the field, put a top card of the deck into gauge and draw a card. If this card has no soul, it gates weapon reeling. So similar to most of the smaller units, she can only be force equipped with 1 weapon from your hand. She has Purge, and fortunately right here they explain Purge. Purge counter is a counter ability, so you can actually chain your Purge into your opponent's card effects. For example, if they are activating Dragonic Destroy, you can counter that card, so they can't be able to spell now this effect for some reason. So counter, put a weaponry from this card so the gauge. You may only use this ability once per turn, so take note. She has Soul Guard as well, so she can do a little bit of tanking if you need to. Most important, she's just there for charge and draw, then usually replace her off with other units. Next is 4 copies of Uni Gula. She's the only Russian girl in the team for some reason. Most of the units are in Japanese, but she is from Russia. So for those of you who are wondering what her flavor tag is, it is Zaknis. I want you to keep quiet. So basically Zaknis means shut up. I want to keep in Russian. I want you to keep quiet. Really cool because I rarely see Russian words in Buddyfight. When this card enters the field, you may put a weaponry from your drop zone in the soul of a mobile area team on the field. So it could be items or other monsters. So this is how I do the combo. I'll show you something cool. So you have your body monster. See, you have a body monster equipped as your item. Use a skill, draw 1 card. Draw 1 card. Okay, you have another one, you draw another card. Right now your monsters are already full slot, so she loses her weapon reeling effect. But if you want to put in 3 souls for some reason to make her a 5 crit monster, what I usually do is I call Ilona. Ilona will from the drop zone put 1 into a soul. So you have 3 souls, fight, and she is 5 critical. This is one way you can force equip your monsters. She is very important because she allows you to force equip your main weapon so that you have an incredibly powerful main weapon. And later on I'll be showing you why is this a very big play, so stay tuned. So 4 copies of Ilona because she's amazing. And one thing to note is she has a very tanky 5k defense. And finally 2 copies of third style, Teen Clouds, Nanami Lisa. She is very important right now because there are so many destructions in Buddyfight. Especially if you're fighting against Amaterasu, which they actually break your weapons a lot. You really want her on the field because even though you do have a lot of soul guards and weapons, stuff like Amaterasu do have cards that can reach, attack, destroy 1 time. So if they have Susano with the card ability, I'll be putting a picture over there. Your weapon will be wrecked and you'll be left with nothing. So sometimes I do actually call her because if I do sense a lot of destruction incoming, I will call her out. And of course, you can always counter this to call her out so that you won't get destroyed by stuff. So yeah, 2 copies is fine. Sometimes, of course, against certain matchup, where you're not getting destroyed, she's pretty much useless, but still a very good card. Alright, now let's get on to the spells. 4 copies of Infonet Operation. One of my favorite spells in the game. So, cards cost 1 gauge and 1 life. Pretty reasonable. Put up to 1 size 3 mobile area team monster and 1 weaponry item from the deck into your hand. So, 1 card to gain 2 extra important cards into your hand, this is so good and it's a fantastic startup. This is one card that you really want to open with, and if you get spelled out, then kind of good luck for you, because she is very powerful. One card to gain 2 cards, 2 key cards is insane. Okay, one another thing to note is getting more weapons is also very good, because every time you insert a weapon into her, you get to draw 1 card due to its ability, its counter ability. So there's a lot of pluses. So 4 copies because it is a staple. Search out your main engine of the deck. Alright, shields, we play 4 copies of Fluangel Shield. Very nice looking shield. So you may only cast this card during your opponent's attack, and yeah, you can basically nullify the attack. And if you have a ride with 2 or more souls, you can charge 2 gauge and gain 2 life. So be very careful. If you're gonna lose some souls, please use this first, because gaining a 2 life and 2 gauge is just too much value to lose out. So, but nonetheless, an extremely powerful shield. Think about it, it's kind of a combination of Green Dragon Shield and Blue Dragon Shield times 2. So yeah, 4 copies because it's an amazing shield. 4 copies of 2-man team. One of my favorite art. It just looks so cool. You may only cast this card if you have a mobile area team on your field. You can draw a card. Then if you have a mobile area team with 1 or more soul, you can draw an additional card. So basically, for no cost, you're drawing 2 cards once per turn. Next is 3 copies of Superhero Time. One of my favorite cards because it gives so much pluses. So you may only cast this card if you have an item equipped. So if you don't have an item equipped, you can't use this card, unfortunately. Cast cost, you pay 1 life, look at the top 3 cards of the deck, put 1 of them into your hand, and the rest goes into your gauge. You may only cast Superhero Time once per turn. So this one single triple rare card allows you to draw 1 card and charge 2 gauge, and choosing top 3 is amazing because it increases your consistency, so you get to choose up to 1 of them. Because drawing 1 card is kind of random, but drawing 3 cards, chances are you will get the card you need for that situation. So this card is amazing, and I find this a staple in all Hero World decks right now. I played 3 copies because it is really powerful. Next is 3 copies of Azure Sky Descent. Very important spell because it allows you to do plays which are offensive and defensive at the same time. So cast cost 1 gauge, counter call a mobile area team monster from your drop zone by calling its call cost. So it is very important because one thing is, in a very offensive meta, chances are your monster will get destroyed time to time. So if you have an open center, you do not want that. So you can use this card to call monsters to your field to protect yourself. So for example, if let's say you have let's say your weapons get, so let's say your field is empty and your move monster's already been destroyed, you can activate this card called Ilona effect, put 1 shield into soul, you get an 8k defender right there. Alright, another thing is also, this card is really important for, if you're fighting a lot of destruction decks, you can counter this card from the drop zone, call it, so you can prevent that destruction from happening. So yeah, so many good things you can do with this card. Also, you can, another thing I like to use it for is, let's say I have a very nice field like this, double attack, and I want to push for game, I cast this for 1 gauge, I'll call a copy of her, and I can double attack for 4 more crits. I really like this card because it is very flexible. I like cards that gives me more option. Unfortunately, it's once per turn, otherwise it would be too damn broken, because if you think about it, it's 1 gauge so pretty much as a kind of like a restander or a double attacker. You can use it as defensively, offensively, fantastic card. And finally, the last spell we play is 2 copies of Life as an aircraft mechanic. Cast cost 1 gauge, put up to a total of 2 mobile area team and weaponry, different card names from your drop zone to your hand. You can only cast this card once per turn. Okay, what I usually add is, if I can get weapons back to pump up my other monsters, I do that. And of course, some monsters which I need, which are destroyed from the previous battles, I will add them back. So for the weapons, we play 4 copies of Featherblade, the offensive weapon, and 4 copies of Asanagi, mobile armored shield. So to put it simple, you use this during your opponent's turn, you use these during your turn. Alright, so let us go through each of the effects. So if this card is the soul of a mobile area team, it gains a 3k attack power, 1 critical, and the penetrate ability. So counter ability, during your turn you may put this hand card into a soul of a mobile area team with weaponry link on your field. If you do, draw a card. So not only you will be able to power up your monsters or units or your weapons, you will be able to draw an extra card so that it replaces itself. Very important card because it allows you to turbo through your deck while powering up your monsters. Alright, so 4 copies and 4 copies of the shield. A very similar effect. If this card is in a mobile area team, it gains its defense 3k, and all cards on your opponent's field gets -1 critical. This is insane because the -1 critical to AoE is very huge. Most likely, if your opponent have a lot of 2 crit monsters, they all become 1 crit. They basically be tickling you. And counter ability, during your opponent's turn, you may put this card from your hand into a soul of a mobile area team with weaponry link. If your mobile area team does not have any more weaponry link, aka full slot, you will not be able to activate this ability. So do take note if you do draw a card. So yeah, once again, this is basically your opponent's turn version of it. Makes incoming attacks less crits. So let me teach you how you use this card. Alright, so you have an item here. Chances are you will have an item. You have item, you draw 1 card, you get 1 free card to your hand. And usually what I do is, during my turn, I will want to equip at least 2 into it, so that she's fully equipped. She's 4 crits, 13k. So you'll be able to run through any monster in the game with penetrate, with huge power, and of course gain life with ability. At the end of turn, sometimes I do want to actually just push up 1, so that I can gain a gauge, in case I want to cast some spells. And of course open a free slot, so that if my opponent were to attack her with 5k attack monsters, I can counter this ability, go inside, draw an additional card into my hand, and then make her 8k defense, your attack miss, or your opponent's monsters drop 1 critical. So basically, one single card can stop so much play for your opponents. This is the reason why the mobile aerial weapon system is one of the most complicated systems in the Buddyfight series. So yeah, you really need to think of how you can play this play the combo. As previously mentioned, you could before end your turn, you could just before you end your turn, you could actually push off one card, so that you make stuff for 1. But think about this, during your opponent's turn, you'll be able to push 1 more time, so that you equip 2 of them, and you can make it a 11k tanker. So instead of being a super weapon master, you can become an ultimate tank, so that you won't take any damage at all. This is crazy plays. You really need to rack your brain and not misplay, otherwise you will lose the game. So similar to that, once your turn comes, you can actually purge off the weapons and re-equip, so that you can, you know, become more offensive. So you really need to switch up your offense and defense time to time, so that you'll be able to do perfect plays. Alright, so that's the weapons. Let us go on to the impact. So for the impact, I played 3 copies of Justice Reigns from Above, because the art looks like Farah, and it is a very devastating. So at the cost of 3 gauge, you can choose a mobile aerial team on your field, put up the 2 weaponry from the drop zone into its soul, then send the chosen card. The reason why this card is insane is because, let's say usually you have a weaponry with 2 weapons, she have no longer has slot. Justice Reigns from Above, chuck in 2 more, resend that beast, and slap for 6 crits. Yeah, that's how crazy it is. And the reason why this card is actually very powerful is because a mobile area team do have a little bit of weakness of rest. So sometimes if they do rest your monsters, you can final phase cast this, resend, she still gains the double attack ability, 6 crits, your opponent's dead. So yeah, the very nice offensive card. It basically kind of guarantees you a minimum of 5 crit damage, and if your opponent do use a bit of like crystallization on your monsters, there's a whopping 6 crit to your face in the rest of stuff. So yeah, a really good counter card. Alright, another option that I would like to do is, I guess you guys saw me in WGP, you guys fought against me. My trademark is this Brave Energy Full Drive. Alright, this card is insane because, let me show you how stupid this card can get. This card is crazy. First turn kills every day. Combo requires you to have a Russian Girl and just weapons, alright? Just need Russian Girl and your impact. This is just 3 cards. I'll show you a really crazy combo. You're going first. Oh no, I can only attack once. No problem for me. I'll charge and draw. Sorry, just let me use this card instead, because I want an extra weapon. This is to guarantee it. So I pay 1 gauge, search for her and weapon, add it to my hand. I'll write this, Buddy right, pay 2 gauge, search for another weapon. Right, 2 weapon right now. Weapon, draw additional card. Weapon, draw additional card. So right now she is fully equipped and fully slotted out. You will not be able to equip her with any more weapons, but do not worry, because this deck is very flexible. So let's carry on. So first I'll call Yano Yukari. Yano Yukari skill from the deck or drop zone. I can equip 1. I'll equip 1 weapon to her soul. Now I'll call Gulayev. Gulayev will send her to drop zone, and Gulayev effect, where this card enters the field, put 1 card from drop zone into soul. So right now you have 3 souls. So all you need to do right now is cast superhero time or gain any gauge. We do have a lot of cards that allows you to gain gauge and stuff. So even Oba Kagari allows you to draw. So what I usually do is I'll end off with this. So Oba Kagari, charge and draw. Charge 1 gauge, draw 1 card. Draw 1. And I use Yano Yukari to call over her. Yukari skill, put 1 card from the 1 card from the deck to the soul. Just like this. So entering battle phase, I'll attack you with 5 critical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 critical attack once. So usually in Buddyfight right now, a lot of shields require you to have a certain attribute on the field. For example, for Flu Angel shield, you need to have a mobile area team. Swing for 5 crits, your opponent can't nullify. They left 5 life. Final phase. For 2 gauge, for the 2 gauge I just paid, I will purge with Yano Yukari. 2 gauge. Brave Energy Full Drive. America's card if you're right on the card and your opponent is 5 life or less. So 2 gauge, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Then deal damage to your opponent equal to the number of cards in your soul. So I have 3 cards in the soul. That's 5 instant damage. This damage cannot be reduced. So yeah, that's one really cool FTK combo. This deck has a lot of draw power and a lot of consistency, so this is a very easy combo to pull off. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy my deck perform on my mobile area squad hero world from the ultimate booster. I hope this video shows you the awesomeness on the mobile area team and help you learn more about the deck. I want to apologize for a really long video, but this is one of my favorite decks right now, and if you guys would like to see more awesome Buddyfight deck performs, please leave a like on this video and subscribe, because I will be uploading more awesome Buddyfight decks. And also, if you guys are looking for completed Buddyfight decks like these, or you want to pick up a mobile area team deck from us or want to support us, be sure to check out our online store www.buddy-fight.com. We still have a couple of mobile area squad deck for sale, so do pick it up because it's going off fast due to WGP. So once again, thank you guys for watching, peace out and love you guys. Right.